Welcome back, traders, to another episode of xauusd trading strategy, weekly highs and lows technical analysis. And this video is preparation for week commencing Monday the 11th of November. So if you're new to this channel and you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification and drop us a like. We release videos every other day on gold and every other day on NAS, right? So if you're interested in any one of these assets, make sure you're tapped in. So when I release a video, you'll be one of the first to see, or you be notified as soon as the video is released, and therefore you can always pop over and take a quick look. All right. So now that you've gone ahead and done that, we're gonna pick up from where we need to have our eyes fixed for week commencing Monday the 11th of November, right? So there's a couple things that we laid out on the chart last week in regards to what I was expecting gold to do, what gold did do, okay? And moving forward, we now need to prepare ourselves as to some of the things that gold could produce, some of the new opportunities it could create. And we want to make sure that we're always on the right side of that, so at least we can capitalize and get all of those awesome pips and points that we all love and care so much about, right? So with all that said and done, what I'm basically going to do is I'm just going to start from scratch in regards to the analysis. So essentially, we're just going to get rid of everything on here and we're just going to start again. So let's just move all the drawings. Yep, take them all off. All right. So now what you're watching is you're watching us do this on the hourly. Okay, so the higher time frames are better, but for the sake of the video, and I think it's easier for everyone to kind of follow along if we do this on the 1 hour time frame. So the day is the best, but however, the 1 hour time frame is more than workable just to help us kind of figure out where we need to be next week and how we need to observe the positions that are opening up in front of us and how we're able to take advantage of it. Now, in saying all of that is important, I say this: I am not a financial advisor. I am not giving you financial advice. I'm just a regular person, right? So I am not a guru. I'm just a regular person sharing how I like to move in the market. And in doing so, there may be some gems in it for you, right? You might find something really useful that you could use yourself. That's the overall idea as to what it is I'm doing and how I'm doing it, right? So let's get straight into it. So first things first, let's just point out what market has been doing so far, okay? So as we can see, market has been in an uptrend for a little bit, right? For a little while now. And it now looks like it's now in the process of maybe turning around, right? It looks like he wants to do that. So it looks like it's in the process of doing that right now. So we're just going to drag this across all the way over, okay? And we're going to just assume, obviously, market has decided that it wants to turn itself around. Make sure this is all spot on. So essentially, we have two touches on the top side and we have one on the bottom, and the market that has gone all the way through and has come back up, and it looks like it might want to push down some more. That we don't know, but we're going to do the analysis and that's going to help us figure out what we should be looking out for, okay? Now, in last week's video, I did a whole bunch of FVGs that we spotted, but I've taken them all off the board now because essentially we need to start from scratch because it's a new week and we may need to assess it differently, okay? Look to see if there are new opportunities that we can jump in on. So what can I see already from the rip? What can I see already? So already I can see that we have a bearish FVG in this area that has already been tapped. So market is now moving away from this FVG. It tapped into it in the late hours and early morning of Thursday and Friday. So late evening on the Thursday, early on the Friday, okay? And it's moved away from that. All right. Now, in the previous video, I looked at situations as to how you could tap in and treat the FVGs, okay? So all of that is there for you to go watch, and then you can then apply all of that to your chart and be able to fully understand what I was trying to say in regards to that whole situation, right? So this FVG zone that we're looking at right now, it is in the area of, so on the high side we are looking at, just bear with me a moment, let me just change the colors. So on the high side we are looking at 2719.76, and on the low side we are looking at 2708.02. So this zone here is kind of important in terms of what market will do. Will it revisit that area again? And if it does, how are we supposed to behave? All right, because this is a bearish FVG, we're going to make this red, so at least you know what this FVG is in reference to, right? And then we're going to take a look at what's going on in this area over here. Okay, so in this area over here we can kind of see we may have what could be seen as a potential channel. 2 touches on the top side, only 1 on the bottom so far, and it looks like price may want to find its way into this area down here. Okay, now what is waiting for price at this area to strengthen the idea that price may want to push up in that direction, possibly tap back into the FEG and come back down again? That we don't know, but let's just entertain that idea for a second. All right, so what we do have in this area over here is we have a whole bunch of bullish FEGs, right? A whole bunch of them. So we've got one bullish FEG over here. Let me make this blue. And then we have another up here that has already been tapped into. This was tapped in on Friday. The tap was over here. Okay, and the one above has already been tapped into, so we're just going to disregard that. All right, so these are the potential moves that we have right now. Now between these FVGs, which one is the strongest? Which one is the strongest? So let's go to a 4 hour and let's see what we can see. So on a 4 hour, we have a bearish FVG that price is currently in now. Now this kind of gives an idea that this whole descending channel might not actually produce a push to the upside, but price could collapse and come downwards. It's fairly plausible because of the situation that we got here. Okay, so we're going to remove these. We're going to remove these FVGs that we have at the moment, and then we're going to expand the one that we have on the 4 hour. If we find one on a higher time frame, that's the one we're going to stick with, right? So we found a FVG that has been tapped into, a bullish FVG, okay, on a higher time frame, and this FVG that we had in this area, the bearish one, is actually an order block on the 4 hour. Okay, so this is what we can see so far. So now let's jump. This now strengthens this structure that we're seeing right now, because this FVG now has become pointless. So let's get rid of that. It has become pointless. All of the stuff that I just put on just now is all needs to be voided off. And the strongest one that we have right now, and this is on the day, this is the bearish FEG found on the day. Okay, and then we have another one sitting up here. Now what I just did with you guys, right, in regards to looking for the FEGs is the best way, in my opinion, to look for the FEG. Start on a lower time frame and build yourself up until you find ones that are suitable, that is in line with what you're seeing in the current market right now. So as we can see, because of what price is doing right now and the 2 FVGs that we have in this location, it gives us a really strong possibility that price will be coming down from next week, the 11th of November, or week commencing Monday, the 11th of November. We do have an FVG in this area right here. Okay, we do have one, but price tapped into it over here. So let's see if we can find another one that hasn't been touched. So this one over here is this FVG that we have in this zone as well. Okay, that too has been touched. You're probably wondering, why am I not drawing it out? At this point, you should be able to see them without me having to draw it out. I only want to draw out the ones that's of immediate importance to us right now, supposing to ones that may come in handy at some point in the near future. So with that said, these 2 are the most important. The one in this area right here, that was tapped over here. Okay, and the one in this area over here was tapped over here. Okay, price could go back into it again, but right now I'm only going to really focus on that when price starts making its way downwards. Okay, So now that we've gotten that figured out, let's go back to the hour. Let's go back to the hour. Let's bring this in like so. Okay. And let's mark out these two FVG zones because they are important. Let's mark out these two FVG zones. So the zones are really important, okay, especially if price pushes up. So now, when I redraw everything back on, these two levels here are going to make a lot of sense as to the probability as to something taking place, right? So the top side of the bearish FVG is 2772.23. The low side of that bearish FVG is 2762.21. And then the FVG directly below that, and they're all derived from the day, from the 24-hour candle, right? So they're the best ones in my opinion. Some may agree, some may disagree, but I believe taking market indicators or price action from a higher time frame is much more valuable than ones on the lower time frame. Hence why I'm going to go with these two. So picking up from where I left off before I went into what I just said. So the high side of the lower FVG, this one, is 2723.39. And the low side of that is 2710.25. Okay, so we've got that two marked out. Then we can now put this back onto the chart now, this descending channel, right? So you can put this back on right now. It has two touches, but that gives me the confidence that these may be the areas that price wants to go to, okay? So I'm happy with that. Then the second part of all of this is we now need to figure out where we are in the week. So we're going to put a vertical line right here, and then we're going to drop a second one on the Monday. We're going to lock these two in place. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to look for the weekly high. Okay, because that too is going to help us figure out what we need to be doing and how we need to be doing it. So the weekly high was set. You could say, you could argue it could have been a Monday, a Tuesday or a Wednesday, okay? But it doesn't matter. The weekly high is here nonetheless. So we're gonna go here, select weekly high. Make this black. Go to the style. Okay, it doesn't allow me to do it here, so let's just change it over here. Okay, so that's the weekly high. And then we have the weekly low, which was set on the Thursday. So weekly low, make that black, change the text to black. Okay, so now let's find the labels for these two locations over here. So weekly high set for us between the Tuesday and the Wednesday, and that level is 2750.61, and the weekly low that was set for us on Thursday is 2643.88. Now if either one of these levels is taken out next week, I'll be looking for moves in the corresponding direction. Okay, so now that we have that in place, now let's look at what is the likelihood of price either going to these levels over here or flying straight through and blasting through the weekly low over here. Okay, that we don't know, but we now have a case to say, okay, from Monday to Wednesday, if this channel does what it normally does and blasts off and does not go past this level over here, we can begin to say that price is in the process of flying down. So let me repeat that one more time. If price does something like this, okay, from next week, comes here, maybe comes here, flies here, does something like that, not exactly, flies to this level over here, flies to this level over here, okay, and doesn't go past it, okay, we can assume that price wants to come down. Price wants to make his way down. It wants to do a retracement all the way down. How far it's going to go, that we don't know, but what we can do is be mindful of that, okay? So rather than me putting out signals as to where to get in and where not to get in, etc., what I would rather you do is you lay these levels down on your own charts, okay, and we start to track things as we move through the week, starting Monday, to see where price ends up, because price may not even go to these zones. It could just come straight down, right? But either way, we want to keep an eye on things, okay? So that will be the vibe that I will be going off in regards to how I want to start my week next week, right? And the first thing that I would do, especially in regards to Monday, is the most important one is, does price take out this high right here? So let me just show you. Does price take out this high in this area right here? Does it do that? Okay. So let me make that black. Does price take out this high? Right? So it's not a weekly high, but it is a high that is creating consolidation right now. Okay, so if it does take out this high on a Monday or early hours of the Tuesday, we now need to keep an eye in this zone over here. And how I would do it is I'll wait for price to get into this zone. I wouldn't jump in with a market buy. Once again, not financial advisor, giving you financial advice. Everything you do is on you. What I would do is I will position myself right underneath the FVG to see if price comes into it. Okay, now you have to be mindful, price could tap into it and still mess you up. So how I would do it is this: to limit my losses, okay, I would put my entry down here and my stop up here, okay, once I see price is comfortably in this zone, okay, right, in case it comes back down again. Now it might not come back down again and it might start to push upwards. Now if price pushes all the way up and it's in this zone up here, okay, then what I would want to do is I would want to see if price takes out this level right here. This level right here. Right? Let me this level right here. So let me just draw a little arrow on it and put a little bubble. What I mean is, let me put a little price label on it. So that level will be 2790.35, because I believe there is a possibility that gold could go up to say 3,000, okay? And 3,000, believe it or not, it's just here. It's just up here, right? We're not too far away from that number already, and it's a rounding number. So I believe there's a high probability that you'll want to do that. But in order for me to convince that it does want to do that, I would need it to take out the weekly high, and I would need it to violate this daily FEG right here, right? Once it's done that, then I know it's heading upwards. So in all fairness, there is a high probability that if you want to execute this based on how I'm saying, based on what I'm saying and how I'm saying it, it might require you to sit on your hands for a bit and just watch, right? If you're patient to do that, that's really good. If you're not, then obviously you're not, right? But obviously they both have their pros and their cons. So with that said and done, right about now, you should be seeing two thumbs. One of them is going to be on back testing. There's 21 videos in total, so go check them out, take a little look, see if there's any value in there for you, right? And the other is going to be on the previous video to this one. So whilst I leave you to go take a look at those two videos, I will see you all on the next one.